Hey Tiff,
Hey.
thanks for joining.
Hey, it's been a while.
Um, right, so in Sunday school, um, you asked our students to like give us some feedback. So, what kind of feedback did you get?
The feedback I got, or I think, oh my gosh, I'm blinking. The the main ones were some of the activities we were doing. I think the feedback was, oh, it feels kind of a lot like school,
Mm,
like reading, annotating, and like making sense of it. So that was one like takeaway for me. And also, but they did enjoy having opportunities to discuss and do posters and like just have time to process with one another. So I think that that was affirming. Yeah. How about
yeah.
you?
The main feedback is that I talk fast. I don't talk fast. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I talk fast, I guess. So I'm going to slow down, but I think also I'm going to try to take out some components. Maybe some journaling things I'll try to take out, so that will give me more time to slow down and just kind of not feel rushed, I think. Um, yeah, probably the journaling stuff. I can probably uh, not have so many questions too. I can probably just make it really direct and just kind of this is the question and answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of normally I have them thinking about different things, but I can focus it for sure. Um, I want to say, Tiff, that I appreciate you for asking them for feedback. I think it's always humbling to hear ways that you can improve. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good. I think it's good. It's true teaching right there.
I just feel like it's important to like get a pulse check from them
Mm, mm,
because then
mm.
I want it to be like meaningful for them, and if it's there's things that aren't working, I want to stop doing them.
No, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we're not teaching. I mean, our teaching helps us, right? But I mean, we're teaching to help our students, right? And so we want to be impactful. And if we're not helping them, then what are we doing, right? So
Yeah.
we can definitely help them out. Yeah, so we're actually going to, okay, so just so everybody knows, we've been doing like a series, Doctrines of Grace, TULIP. So far, we've gone through the T, the U, and the L. We're going to take like a break during the month of October, um, yeah, to do this identity series. Tiff, you want to talk a little bit about the identity series, maybe what we have planned?
Yeah. So I think this was sparked by like actually reading through the UC Insight questions because half our class are 12th graders, and I kind of just wanted to, and they've been working on it, so kind of wanted to see where their frame of mind has been. And I think a lot of the questions are around like basically like who are you, what do you care about, and how have you been like using like gifts and talents that you have for others in the community, what challenges have you faced. So I thought it'd be good to like discuss those things in like a Sunday school context. And so for this series, we're kind of, and I don't have it fully fleshed out, but like kind of like, and I think it comes at a good time of grappling with a lot of like the doctrines of
Mm-hmm.
grace, and that combined with like, um, yeah, like who do I see myself as? Who do other people see me as? So this first lesson is about like, yeah, like kind of like pulling those things together. And I think we're gonna try a fishbowl of on our sharing our own journeys of having to really grapple with like, am I a Christian? Like where am I in my faith?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And encouraging them to start like to really like think about that. And then we're gonna go into spiritual gifts. Them taking it and deciding, like, kind of looking at what their gifts are, and then you also sharing yours, and how you use and hone your gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last piece will be like, who do I want to be? And so we'll be inviting people in our church community to share about their journey to where they are at. And we pulled people based off the survey from our students, asking them like what careers they're interested in.
Yeah.
So I hope that's meaningful for them.
Uh, yeah, I hope so too. I think it's always like, I mean, they're still young, right? Like I feel like it's kind of rare where people like know exactly what they want to
Hmm.
do, especially as high schoolers, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, that's the career I'm gonna have, and then they actually, end up doing it. I feel like that's rare. But I don't know. I feel like you always want to be a teacher, and I always want to be a nurse. So I guess that doesn't really doesn't really count. But I don't know. I think it's good. What I'm most interested in for this identity series is integrating, I guess, kind of like faith and career and just faith and, our life, basically Monday through Saturday, right? The times where we're not, at church particularly.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what we have to say about that and what our guests have to say about that, and maybe how our students just kind of, yeah, like who are you outside of church? Are you a Christian or not? I'm kind of interested in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for allowing us to do this identity series. That will be during the month of October,
Hmm.
and then we'll go back again to finish up Tulip in November and December. Tiff, how do you feel? How do you feel teaching Sunday school? You kind of told me on our phone call, like some things, you had to change, or wasn't, the stuff in the classroom, it doesn't really work in Sunday school. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. I think, I mean, definitely it's very, very new. Like the content itself is so, like I haven't like studied like tulip since I think a long, long time ago. And so I feel like a student myself, and then having to think about like what's the best way to engage students in this. And yeah, and it's really different because I was sharing with you that teaching math, it's like a skill, right? Like how do you do these problems? How do you make sense of patterns? Like all these things. That's very skills based.
Mhm.
And with this, it feels like very, it's like content. Like, do you understand what this doctrine is saying or
Yeah.
not? And that's kind of new to me. Like trying to think about like how do I teach something that's so intense and squeeze it in 1 week, and knowing that I only have 1 week and then a whole week will pass until I can like build on that or like, follow up on their questions. So I think that's been challenging, but also very
Mm.
humbling. And I constantly have to remind myself, like, this is the structure that we're given, and just, we're doing our best, and that the Lord will still use us, even though we're like not perfect vessels. Like He's still gonna use us, and it's not like up to our own like power to do that. You know what I mean? So I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's been, and I think very practical things like I used to do like little composition books with my students, and that was like a really good tool to like save notes. But then I realized, I think so many of our kids were like, yeah, like I didn't like that. And so I realized, like, it's once a week and it's not as meaningful to them because it's not like we're visiting that every day and it becomes a regular routine in our class. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
like, it makes sense. Like, so I'm not gonna like keep using that all the time, but they can use it if they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiff, I want to ask you, how do you balance all of your, I don't know, stuff that you're doing? I mean, you're doing Sunday school, you're doing your actual career, teaching the teachers, your admin spot, and then your mom life on top of all of this. So, yeah, what's your life like?
Oh man, it's there are times when it's like very, it feels like a lot. Like, and I think we talked about like the idea of like mental capacity. Like I feel like there are days where my mental capacity is at its max. Like, and I think like, yeah, my brain just constantly goes, I feel. Um and I try my best. I used to, when I was teaching, like I used to bring work home all the time, like,
Mm,
and work until I slept. Like it was like work was my life.
mm,
And I think having kids really like forced like a hard cut, like, and it's like literally like I can't do any more work and or stay at work because I have to pick them up.
hmm,
And
hmm.
like I used to feel really bad about that, but now it's like, you know what, I do the best I can within the work time, and then if I have to do work, like if I really couldn't finish and there's like a deadline, then I'm gonna like work on it at home. But yeah, I think I'm learning to create boundaries, and I'm not great at it, but um, yeah, like for example, the last 2 weeks, I feel like I like slept like 4 or 5 hours a night. But like these are all things that I really enjoy, but I think I'm learning how to like take some time to think about like what is my capacity and am I saving like leftovers for my family?
Mm,
Because
mm, mm,
like so many things like interest me and I want to do it, but like I jump at them without thinking like, oh, this how does this impact Ray or the kids
mm,
or
mm.
like my family, the time that I spend with them, or even like that mental attention to them, you know? So,
Yeah.
um,
Okay, so well, okay, first I appreciate your dedication to everything that you do, your family included.
thanks.
And I do appreciate the passion and the care that you have for the classroom and for the students. Just so everybody knows, Tiff will text me and email me. We took a call tonight, middle of the week type of thing, just to talk about Sunday school. And so, yeah, Tiff, I know you care about that. But I think what you said is was actually is pretty meaningful. Like, yeah, like our home life is important. And
Mhm.
so we definitely don't want to give leftovers to our home life.
Yeah.
But also home life changes too. Just like everything else in life. So I guess both you and me can pray that we continue to find, I guess, the right way to do it all.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm thankful to teach together with you, Tiff. I'm learning so much from you. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Thanks for doing this podcast. We should both get back to our
We should.
families now. Thanks for doing it, Tiff. Good night.
Thanks, Aaron. Good
Bye.
night.